opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network. Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Friday episode of Running Point TGIF. Am I right? Brought to you, as always, by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. I'm going to go ahead and put them in the top right-hand corner of the screen so you know where to go if you are in the market for a new or used vehicle. Make sure to go to Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. Right there, top right-hand corner of the screen. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day. One of the ways we do that, of course, is our player profiles that we try to feature every day as well. We're going to go into the football field today. Since it's Football Friday, we're going to feel it a little bit. Back to Boardman and the Mason and Rocky. The Boardman Spartan is going to be the one featured today on our player profile section of the show. It's a great interview with a great athlete. Like it always is with Boardman, we want to thank all of them for their time. We've been able to talk to a lot of Spartans this year, thanks to the wonderful work of Alyssa Birch setting them up and making sure they're taken away. And we love our coverage of Boardman, and it'll continue today with that player profile being featured. We are also, as always, going to be recapping all the stuff that happened last night, and then we will be talking about Week 5 and what's going down tonight in football across the area in the Ysn family. We'll also be talking about the weekend because we don't have a weekend show to preview it. So we'll be previewing Saturday as well today as well. All jumbled up. Let's go into the scoreboard. Let's get this right back on track. Into the scoreboard on ysnlive.com. Scoreboard is a great and easy way for Ysn fans to get live updated scores of their favorite teams across the Ysn family. Whether you're at one of the games or watching one of our broadcasts, either way, you don't want to look away from the screen for too long. And the Ysn scoreboard is a great and easy way to get live updated scores from from everyone across the Ysn family, whether it be your heated rivals or your best friends. No place better to go than the Ysn scoreboard. It can be found at ysnlive.com/scores, and it is presented by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. Let's get to last night's action. A lot of volleyball going down. We'll start in the Keystone State over across the border as Mohawk is able to hold off Riverside in 5 sets, 3-2. The final score there, a big night for Mohawk and a big win for the Warriors. Talking about Warriors, the West Branch Warriors get the sweep over Alliance to bounce back from their loss to Marlington on Tuesday. So the Warriors end a winning streak and then try to get one started right back up with the win against Alliance at home. Ashtabula St. John gets the straight sweep over Badger 3-0. The Heralds still undefeated. And if you're a Heralds fan out there, I want to remind everybody that there is a Herald up for Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley. Gabby Johnston, their standout swinger, is up for the nominee. So make sure to get on over to ysnlive.com/bigdogs to get your votes in. Voting is unlimited, and it does end on Sunday at midnight. So make sure you go over there and give Gabby and whoever else you want to give a big thumbs up vote. There's also 440 nominees in soccer as well. So if you're up there in Ashtabula County, you want to support the 440, make sure to get over to ysnlive.com/big dogs. We go to Conneaut in Lakeside. The Dragons with a 5-set win over the Spartans, 3-2 the final there. We scroll back over to Orange, who won in 4 over Harvey, a big win for the Lions. East Liverpool, Beaver Local, they played in 5-set match last time they played each other. This time, Beaver Local wasn't able to win any sets. East Liverpool took care of them in the Potter Fieldhouse. But what was more important was that the two teams came together for a great cause. It was Pink Night. Both teams were working together to fight off breast cancer. And that was awesome to see. Rivals on the floor, but they both understand that there are bigger things than volleyball, so that was really cool to see. But the Potters are on a roll right now. They keep playing really good volleyball. They have a slew of good hitters, and they have Cameron Yanni, who has been electric setting the ball so far this season. Louisville, they get the straight set sweep over Canton Central Catholic. Canfield and Fitch, this was a battle for first place in the AAC. It was senior night for Canfield, but Fitch plays the spoiler, comes into senior night, and rocks the show with a straight set sweep over Canfield. And quite frankly, it wasn't really that close. 25-16, 25-14, 25-15 were the set scores. So Fitch was really able to dominate that game. They will play each other again at Fitch later on in the season. Canfield has another shot, but the Falcons really flexing their muscles right now in the All-American Conference. Brookfield gets a straight set win over Liberty, 3-0 the final there. Hubbard gets the win over Mooney with a straight set sweep of the Cardinals. Pymatuning Valley, they fall to Chalker, 3-2, and a heartbreaker for them. Champion and Garfield playing each other. Garfield gets the 4-set victory over the Flashes. Cheney can't do anything against Ursuline. It's a straight sweep for the Irish inside the Steel Valley Conference. Inside the EOAC, it is Lisbon that gets the straight set win over Valley Christian. Staying in the EOAC, Columbiana, they went to Wellsville last night to play the Tigers for the second time this year. And this time, the Columbiana Clippers get the win to secure the season sweep. 3-1, and these sets were very close. It was a very good volleyball game. Up until the last one, you felt like Columbiana kind of just broke Wellsville's will a little bit. But the first 3 sets were 25-23, 23-25, 25-23. So you know it was really close. Wellsville used a lot of energy to get it to that point, and this could not have enough in the tank. In that last set, 25-13 was the score in the final set 4. We go to Newton Falls and LeBray. The Tigers were really strong at home. They had probably one of their best performances that they've had all year on the volleyball court, but LeBray able to escape. That is back-to-back 5-set wins for the Vikings. They are, they're survival. They're surviving. That Taylor Burns is out right now, hoping to be back soon. But they're just trying to get through that time without one of their best players on the floor. And they got through it against Newton Falls. Lakeview continues their onslaught of the NE8 with a straight set sweep over Struthers. And this was a big night for Lakeview because not only did they get the NE8 win, which is the first goal, check mark there, but their setter, Mallory Mylock, also got herself to 2,000 career assists. We saw her a couple of weeks ago break the assist record at Lakeview. So no one at Lakeview had ever been a part of the 2,000 assist club, and Mallory Mylock becomes the first. She already had the career assist record before that, and now she makes sure that career assist record has to be above 2,000 for you to break it. And she has a good number of games left, so I think it's going to be, the way she goes is a 5-1 setter, probably, on average 30 plus assists per night. With you got at least 9 more games left. Do that math real quick because I'm not good at mental math. I mean, that's another 270 if she gets just 30 per. So you're talking you're talking close to 2,300 by the time her season's over. And that's if she doesn't go off and have a run of a couple of games in a row with a big number, right? So Mallory Mylock doing things that no one in Lakeview has ever done before. And that is awesome to see. Lakeview gets to sweep once again over Struthers. East Palestine was able to sweep Latonia in their match in the EOAC, 3-0 the final score there, while Beaver was able to sweep Ambridge 3-0. Beaver, Bobcats volleyball, that is something to watch. They have double-digit wins. They are playing really well over in the PA state, so we will definitely be keeping an eye on the Bobcats as this volleyball season continues to roll on. Waterloo gets their first win over Western Reserve since 2018. They win 3-2 over the Blue Devils in the Blue Devils' home, by the way. A big win for the Vikings program. What a great victory. Girard gets the sweep over Niles 3-0. Jackson Milton gets the sweep over Sebring 3-0. Both of those teams taking care of business. South Range salvages their week with a win at Poland to go 1-2 out of their 3 games in the week. 3-0 the final score there. The Raiders get the sweep. Crestview ho-hum in the MVAC, another game, another sweep for the Rebels, 3-0. They've only lost one set this year, was not in conference. They've not lost a conference set, not match, set, since 2021. That was when they lost one set to Brookfield a couple of years ago. They have not lost a home match since 2020, by the way. So that streak still well alive. Springfield and Campbell Memorial getting together. Last time these two teams played, the Tigers pulled out a 5-set victory. Not so much this time. Campbell takes full advantage, gets a 3-set sweep over the Tigers, and that is all they wrote. Is the Red Devils get some revenge on Springfield and their home floor. Edison gets swept by Steubenville 3-0. United sweeps Southern 3-0, the final score there for the Eagles and the Indians. And last but not least, Howland able to sweep Warren Harding inside the EOAC. We go to boys soccer. Lakeview and Hubbard getting together, and it's Hubbard with the 3-1 win over the Bulldogs, a big win for the Eagles. Up in the 4-4-0, Jefferson holds off Cornerstone Christian 2-1. Pymatuning Valley, they get beat by Grand Valley 4-0, the final score there. We scroll along, and we see that Poland was able to beat South Range 4-0, the final score. Bulldogs shut out the Raiders. Columbiana and Ursuline all over this one, 7-1, the final score. Girard, talk about all over it. Girard all over the Niles Dragons, 12-0, the final score there. They snap a little bit of a losing skid, and they're back on track in Girard. Beaver gets the loss to Avonsworth 4-1 on the boys soccer side. Mohawk over in PA, they fall 7-0 to Hopewell. I don't know why it won't let me just scroll the whole way today. Louisville, they tie with Kent Roosevelt 2-2. The final score, Beechwood beats Orange 2-1. Austintown Fitch Boys on the road at Warren Harding, they get to win 9-0. Talk about Boardman on the road against the Tigers of Howland, and Howland gets to win 2-0 over the Spartans. Canfield boys, they are rolling as they get the win over Salem 3-0, the final score there. Garrettsville Garfield, they fall to Rootstown 4-0. Mineral Ridge goes on the road to Lordstown. They win 2-0, the final score in that one. And then JFK and United get together, the Eagles, with the 2-0 win over the Eagles. As United gets the big win there on the boys' side. We go over to the girls' soccer schedule from last night. And Pymatuning Valley gets the win over Grand Valley 3-1. Perry Pirates welcoming in Willoughby South. And it was not a nice welcome for Willoughby as Perry gets the win 6-1, the final score. Hoban also at home last night. They play well, and they beat Lexington 8-1. The final score. Orange falls in a tough one to Hawken, 2-1. Edgewood goes to Bristol, and they work a scoreless tie, 0-0. East Liverpool falls to St. Clairsville, 11-0. Crestview and Columbiana playing each other, and Columbiana gets the edge in this old school rivalry, 3-1. The final there. Springfield also with the big win over United, 3-1. The final in that one. Garrettsville Garfield, they are down by Rootstown 1-0. Waterloo is able to beat LeBray 5-1. Southeast, they're able to win over Woodridge 4-2. Last but not least, the Newton Falls Tigers went to Ravenna last night, and they fell to the Ravens 3-1 on that blue turf up in Ravenna. The final score there. So those are your scores and your recaps from last night. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we will have a player profile with Mason Naraki, and then we will preview week 5 of high school football on the network. That's all coming up next when we come back on Running Point. Brought to you, as always, by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Back in a bit.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun, it all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by our good friends, top right-hand corner of the screen right there, Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you, so you don't have to. We're going to do that today as well, as we have a player profile football edition. Fridays, we try to keep it football. We'll continue to do that today. Back in Boardman, Mason Naraki, Boardman star, going to be our player profile feature today. A great interview. We hope you enjoy it. Here it is. Anthony Hartwig here with another Boardman football player profile. We're joined by another senior, Mason Naraki. Mason, thank you so much, man, for coming on and joining us.
Of course, anytime.
So, senior season, man, you're coming into it. You know it's your last ride. You know it's the last chance you get. What's it been like dealing with all the emotions that come with senior year?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's hard knowing that this is it, but when you're with your friends every day, it makes it easier, especially when you played football with them for like 6 years leading up to this already. So it's hard to control them sometimes, but I think we've done pretty good.
I want to talk about this first game you guys had. You come in against a team that, let's call it what it is. They had your number last year, right? So you come in against a team that definitely came in with momentum and you beat them. You were able to come back, get that win. What went into that? And as a senior, how much did that make you really enthused about this season and what it could be?
Well, yeah, like you said, so last year they they beat us pretty bad. So coming into this game this year, it was like we needed it. Really, it's a good stepping stone for the program overall. But like to be able to win the first game of the season, especially senior season, it says a lot about the team and how much we've grown so far.
When they take that early lead, what do you think about this team was able to keep them from going, like, here we go again? It's Kenston. They're gonna beat us again. Like this, the perseverance. What changed in the locker room to get you guys to come together and come back from a deficit this time against this team?
Well, I think the off season, the practices, they were a little bit tougher than last year. So being able to push through that, and I feel like the weather, I don't know, the weather seemed a little bit hotter too. So being able to push through all that throughout the off season really like lifted us to be like, I mean, it's the season now. We might as well push through now as well and not stop.
You're a leader in that locker room. You're a guy that people look to. What do you think are the biggest attributes you bring as a leader on the team?
Well, I think like I'm pretty approachable. So if anyone has a question or concern, they can always come to me, and I'm not going to like shoo them away or anything. I'll always help them with anything they need. And I think I'm a vocal leader too. So like in practices, I'll make sure everyone's like up and no one's down, so we don't have a bad practice, and the energy is always there.
Leaders are as good as the leaders that taught them. So who were some guys in the past that maybe when you were young taught you how to be a leader that you watched lead this team and you learned from them?
Obviously my parents. Obviously, both my parents have always been there for me no matter what, and they taught me how to be a good person and how to live my life, and they never miss anything. So I think it'd probably just be them.
You make them busy because you're a 3-sport athlete, so you make sure that they're never missing a thing, fall, winter, and spring. What's it like just transitioning from football to basketball to baseball and just going from one season to the next?
Sometimes it's rough, but at some point, I mean, you get used to it because it's been like 7 years of doing it school-wise. But sometimes, I mean, like I think I'm in shape for basketball, but then I get to practice and it's just, football conditioning is not the same as basketball. So sometimes it's a little rough, but I've gotten used to it.
Now I know we're in football season, but do you have a favorite, or is it just like whatever season you're in, that's the sport that is my favorite?
It used to be whatever season I'm in. I always said like, yeah, my favorite's football, and then I get to basketball, and it's basketball and baseball. But I don't know. Right now, I think it's probably football, but that's not a for sure answer.
We'll ask you again during the basketball season, see if that changes. I want to talk about the coaching staff here in the football team. That's, I think, one of the big reasons why we've seen the big week 1 win, and a little bit of a change in attitude of this football team is the things that the coaching staff's been able to do. What's it like being coached by Coach Doda, and what are some things that you think he brings to this team, this locker room, this culture?
He definitely brings toughness. He's one of the toughest coaches I've ever played for, but he knows what he's talking about, and he's also like really into it. So if you have a question, he'll always answer it. He's always there if you ever need anything. So I think he's just like, I think he's a great coach. I think he just knows how to talk to players and how to communicate to them. So I think that's it.
What part of your game do you think him and his staff are the most responsible for you in helping grow in that part of the game?
Well, like I said, I think toughness, like just the ability to be able to play all 4 quarters on either side of the ball. I think just them pushing us every day at practice and making sure that we never stop or we always give everything we have really set the tone for the year.
Football players always say there's nothing like Friday Night Lights, warming up, the lights coming on, you hear the crowd getting ready for the game. What's that feeling like for you?
I want to say nervous, but whenever we're warming up and I look in the stands and I see the people, I just get ready, I guess. Still butterflies every game, but yeah, I love it. I love it every night.
Mason still gets the butterflies. Get everyone. It's senior year. It's not going to go away. What are some things to take those away? Is it the first hit? Is it the first whistle? Is it the first time you get to catch a ball? What are some of the things that take that butterfly away from you in the game?
I think it's different every game, honestly. Like the first game, it doesn't really go away until halftime, if I'm being honest with you. But third, fourth game, sometimes it's just the first play. But by the end of the season, once we sing the national anthem and we're ready to play the game, I'm normally pretty calm, but always a little nervous.
Let's talk about your work in the classroom, bud. You're a student athlete. You're a great student athlete. You're holding a great GPA. What have been some of your favorite things to study so far in the Boardman school system?
Well, not necessarily that I've studied all of them, but I think it's just great with all the opportunities they give you. Like you can study anything you really want. But I'd probably say math. I'm a big math person, so I really like studying the math classes I've been in.
We'll flip the table on that question. I'm not going to call it your least favorite subject because I don't want to dig any of the teachers at Boardman. But what are some of the subjects that have given you the most trouble and made you work the hardest to get those grades in?
Probably like English, like the AP English class, or government. The government last year was pretty rough. I had to work to get an A in that one. That was rough.
Who are some teachers that you think really impacted your journey and then helped you along the way?
Like high school or any?
Any. If you have middle school teachers or elementary teachers that helped you along the way, give them a shout out. Why not?
Well, in like 8th grade, Mr. Lenhart and Mr. Carnevale they really saw something in me, I think, and they really pushed me a lot to be a better student. So I want to thank them a lot. But yeah, I think that's really it. I guess Doda too, because he's my first period teacher. So
what's it like having your football coach as the first teacher you see during the day?
It's different. It was the same as last year, but it's always. I mean, he's more coach than a teacher to me. So I mean, it's not really like. It kind of just feels like I'm at football at 7:45 in the morning.
Just like summer, right? When you think about some of your favorite aspects of being a football player, what are some things that you love about being able to represent Boardman, being able to put on those pads and do it every week?
Well, I feel like Boardman's always been like a tradition kind of school. So being able to represent the tradition and the program has always been something that I love to do, playing for the name on the front of the jersey. Yeah, that's really it.
And you get to do that all school year. So what do you love so much about staying busy? Because you are a very busy person. You have plenty of extracurricular activities that aren't sports too. So what do you do? What's free time? Do you have free time?
I think so. I mean, but most of the free time is just homework. So, it's not very free if you ask me, but outside of sports and stuff, my free time is homework. I also like to play a couple of video games, but that's really all I have.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you do get that time, very rarely, where it's not a sport, it's not homework, it's just you can do whatever you want. What are some things that occupy your time?
Well, I got the new college football game, so it's really been that a lot. That game's awesome. That's really it. I like to hang out with my friends, obviously, but that doesn't happen all the time, especially school nights and stuff. We don't have much time after football, so.
Did you start a dynasty yet on the new college football game?
I have like
who's your dynasty? Who's the school?
I have Coastal Carolina, Tulane, and UTEP.
There you always got to go with those mid majors, right? The Chanticleers. A lot of people don't even know what a Chanticleer is. It's a rooster, by the way. It's just a fancy name for a rooster. For those of you that are wondering, what are some things that you think you're gonna miss the most about this experience? You're only in high school once. That's the old cliche. What are you gonna miss the most about just the whole high school experience?
Well, once we go away to college or wherever we go, I'm just gonna miss being able to see my friends every day, like being able to connect with them and hang out with them every day, even if it's at football or just in school in general, like having classes with them. So I think that's what I'll miss the most.
Let's talk about plans after high school. We don't want to see you go. We've loved covering you at Boardman, but you got bigger things to do, right? So what are some plans that you have after high school and some things you want to do?
Well, I want to go to college and I want to get a bachelor's degree in some form of engineering, probably mechanical. I'm not sure, but.
And we got some engineers on this football team. You and Zach both wanting to be an engineer. Do you have a place locked down yet, or do you have it narrowed down to a couple?
Well, I don't have one locked down for sure, but I'm from Maryland, so I think going to that college would be awesome. Obviously, YSU, they have a great engineering program. Ohio State, but I don't really have one that's like, oh, I have to go there.
if you go somewhere where you're gonna leave the nest, right? You're gonna walk away from home. You're gonna live by yourself, which it sounds like no matter where you go, you're gonna be able to do that. What are some things that make you nervous about being away from home, and then what are some things that excite you about it too?
Nervous cooking dinner because my mom, great cook. She cooks dinner for us a lot, and waking up in the morning because sometimes that alarm I just snooze right through it. But things I'm excited for, I think just the independency, being able to live by myself will be a challenge, but I think it'll be fun. Like getting to come home and I don't know, not a lot of yelling or stuff like arguing. I don't know, stuff like that.
This might be hard because you said your mom's a great cook, but what is the best home cooked meal that she has?
Oh, that is hard. That's a good one. I really like her beef stroganoff. That's really good.
That's the one that you're gonna have to learn how to cook before you leave, right? So now, with the end of this interview, Mason, we want to give you the time, like all we do with every player profile, to thank your support system, the people that have been there for you through the years. Want to give you the time to take the limelight off yourself, shine on them.
Okay, well, I want to start by thanking God, obviously. I wouldn't be here without him. I want to thank my parents, all my teachers, all the coaches that led me up to this point, all my friends that push me even when I don't want to get pushed, and my family as a whole, because even if they're not at every event, they always support me no matter what I want to do. So,
all right, Mason, man, we appreciate the time. We appreciate you coming on, talking to us about your senior season. We wish you the best of luck going forward, buddy, and we can't wait to talk to you real soon.
Thank you.
Mason Naraki from Spartanville, from Boardman out there. What a great interview that was. If you missed that interview or a little bit of it came onto the show just a little bit late or whatever it may be, excuse me, it can be found in its entirety on Ysn Live's YouTube page as well as ysnlive.com with an article attached to it. So make sure that you're taking advantage of that, and you make sure to go and watch it on our YouTube page. And if you're over there on our YouTube page, hit Ysn up with a little bit of a subscription there. We love our channel subscriptions. It helps the YouTube algorithm let people know that people like this channel. When you like our videos, it also helps the YouTube algorithm get that video out to people. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you never miss a minute of the video action that we put on our YouTube page. It's being updated constantly with player profiles, coaches' corners, post-game interviews, game highlights, all that fun stuff, all going up on our YouTube page. So you don't want to miss any of it. Head over there and get all those clicks down. Likes, subscribe, notifications. So now let's dive into week 5. It is week 5 in the high school football season. That means we're halfway through. You math majors out there, 5 is half of 10, right? So here we go, halfway through the season. Let's jump in the scoreboard. We'll hop from yesterday to today. And you can hop in the DeLorean and go back to the future, right? Excuse me. So we are on September 20th. And a lot of football to be played tonight in week 5. And we will start at the top of the scoreboard with Camel Memorial going to Springfield. I think we're going to learn a lot about Camel tonight because they have played games tough. They have played games close. Their wins have been able to be impressive, but their losses have been right there where they just couldn't make those one last couple of plays down the stretch. But now they're going into a mighty Springfield Tigers team. So how real is Camel Memorial? I think we're going to have to learn about that today. How real are they? How competitive can they be? How dangerous are they? How much of a turnaround do they have? Because in years past, this was not a game. This was not a game that anyone would watch. This was a blowout for Springfield. And now you're looking at the way Camel's been playing this year, and you're thinking to yourself, maybe Springfield, shouldn't just Sharpie this game down before they play it. This could be a very good football game. And I think even if Camel is just competitive, they would prove to a lot of people that they are a different team this year if they are able to go into Springfield and really test the Tigers. They want to win. Everyone wants to win. But if they're able to just go in there and just really compete hard and push the Tigers and not be a running clock, in the second half, I think they'd prove to a lot of people like, hey, this Camel team, there's something different about them. Canfield will go on the road tonight to Cheney. That's going to be a big test for the Cardinals because just like their opponent last week in Poland, Cheney is going to be a very physical team, very big team. They want to bully you just like Poland does. So Canfield's going to have to play a lot of the same style of football to get the win today on the road. Conneaut heads to Harvey tonight. Crestview goes to Southeast in the MVAC. How about this is one that I think turned into a game to watch. Probably wasn't one that a lot of people circled at the start of the season or before the season started. Like, is this going to be a big game in the EOAC? But all of a sudden, here's East Palestine, 3-1, 1-0 in the EOAC. Just like Camel, East Palestine wants to prove to everybody, okay, this is real. Like, this is a real turnaround. And one way to do it, one way to prove to everybody that this is legit in East Palestine is to go on the road to Valley Christian and get a big win. Bulldogs trying to do that. Valley Christian, just like some other teams we've already talked about, Cheney, Poland, they're the same style of football. They're very physical. They want to bully you into submission. They're going to try to wear the Bulldogs down. I think even if this is a close game in the first half, you got to watch that second half because eventually trying to stop this Valley Christian run game and trying to stop the offensive line of Valley Christian, it wears you down. It really does. So you're really going to have to watch the second half of this game to see if East Palestine can keep up with that level of play consistently through 4 quarters of football because they're going to have to. You go to Edgewood in the 440. They're making a road trip to West Geauga. Garfield will be on the road at Champion. I told you before, Garfield, not the cleanest out-of-conference schedule. They had a really close win. They had a tough loss to Warren JFK. Didn't look like the normal Garfield that we're used to seeing, but Garfield inside the conference, different animal, and they are still the reigning champions and the big animals in the conference to take care of. So they're trying to prove that every week. So Champion, you're going to have a Garfield team that's coming into Champion wanting to prove to the rest of the league, like, hey, we're still here, and you're still going to have to deal with us if you want to win an MVAC. Great tier championship. Geneva going to hit the road, and they'll have to play the defending state champions, Perry. Girard hitting the road as well. Pymatuning Valley going to be their destination. They go outside the conference after a tough conference loss to Struthers by 7 points last week. Hubbard goes to Poland tonight. That's going to be a big one inside the NE8. You talk about similar styles of football and the way Hubbard's been playing football right now. Their defense looks locked down. Poland's offense only scored 10 points last week. Granted, their defense gave up 17. They were right in that game. But you got to feel like the way Hubbard's playing, you got to score more than 10 to beat them. We're going to have to see tonight. That's going to be a really fun game in Poland. Jackson Milton travels to McDonald inside the MVAC. The Blue Jays trying to get a big win over the Blue Devils, who are trying to respond to a little bit of rough patch in their season right now in the last couple weeks. Orange has a chance to go 5-0 this week as they will host Jefferson. That would be a monster win for Orange. I have to dig into the last time they were 5-0. We did a whole bunch of headlines on the last time they went 3-0 and 4-0, which was both back in 2018. That year they lost week 5, and they ended up going 7-4. So now I have to do even more digging to see the last time Orange was 5-0, because it could very well happen tonight at home against Jefferson. Lakeside going to Hawken. We've seen Hawken on the Ysn family quite a bit this football season. They're a very good team. They're always giving us a good game, right? So this should be exciting. Lakeside and Hawken should be one that we're watching for a while. Lakeview going to Niles. They're trying to bounce back and get a big victory after their loss to South Range. Lakeview still trying to prove that they can compete and be a conversation in the NE8. They're trying to do that on the road in Bo Ryan Stadium. Liberty will be going to Brookfield. We saw how mad Brookfield was last week in their conference opener after a very tough non-conference slate. Can they keep that momentum going? Because Liberty, like you talk about desperation, Liberty needs a win bad. So they're going to come in and give everything that they have to Brookfield to get a win. So Brookfield's going to have to hold that off. But the Brookfield we saw last week is going to be very hard to beat, especially at home. EOAC battle between Lisbon and Columbiana. The Clippers in the same boat. They want a win pretty badly, and they're at home to do it. So they're going to have everything they have, desperation mode for Columbiana against a very good Lisbon team tonight. Louisville, 2-2 on the year. They're going to try to go above 500 as they go on the road to North Canton Hoover. Middle Ridge tries to make it 2 in a row as they hit the road to Waterloo tonight. Newton Falls, they're hitting the road as well. LeBray has them on tap. And Paynesville Riverside coming into Boardman. We saw Riverside against Fitch last week on the road. Fitch went there. Their Riverside's defense looked pretty good, but their offense could not move the ball against the Falcons. Boardman undefeated at home so far, trying to keep that mark where it is. They're looking to go 4-1, which would be a huge start after a 1-9 year a season ago. So Boardman trying to stay undefeated at home. They got the Beavers coming to town. Speaking of Beavers, we have back-to-back Beavers on the scoreboard, which almost never happens on YSN. Might be a first time. Beaver Local hosting Salem. This is homecoming for Beaver Local. They're trying to ride all that emotion that comes with homecoming and all the stuff that comes before it, as they have a Salem team that is coming off a heartbreaking loss in double overtime to Canton Central Catholic. So that'll be a fun one in Beaver Local between two teams that are really familiar with each other. St. Clairsville going to East Liverpool. It's going to be a tough one for East Liverpool, but at least Beaver Local had to go on the road to St. Clairsville. Tough time there. They have St. Clairsville coming into the Potters place. So that'll be fun for East Liverpool to at least be able to host this team. A little bit of home cooking for the Potters. They're going to try to get a big win tonight at home. The one that everyone is talking about, we've been talking about it all week. Don't think there's much more to say other than let's go. Struthers South Range. Struthers, if you want the NE8, you got to go through the Raiders, right? This is it. This is the game that you need to win if you want an NE8 trophy. And that's the same task for every NE8 team. If you want to win the championship, you got to go through the champs. And it's South Range standing there at home again, 6 straight weeks at home. So this is week 5. They got one more home game before they go on the road for the rest of the season. So, Raider fans, get them while they're home, because they're home for 2 more weeks. But this is a pretty dang big one against the Wildcats. If second half Struthers shows up from last week, could be a very fun game. United go into Southern Local. United looking to make a lot of waves in that EOAC. There's a lot of teams right now vying for that championship. I know it's early. We're only 2 weeks in. Really early to start talking about conference championship, but there's, in the past, especially like 2 years ago, we kind of knew it was Valley Christian and United. And then last year, it opened up a little bit with Valley Christian losing the seniors they did from 2 years ago. This year, I think it looks more open than most. I mean, you think Lisbon has a shot. East Palestine, if they can go and get a win tonight, they definitely have a shot. Valley Christian's always in that conversation. You have United sitting right there. It's going to be a very, very fun EOAC season. Ursuline goes on the road tonight to historic Mollenkopf Stadium, and they will play Warren Harding and the Raiders. That's going to be a big test for Ursuline on the road. Warren Harding, always a very good program that gives everyone a good shot. Wellsville and Latonia playing in the EOAC. How about West Branch traveling on the road to Howland? The Tigers with a 7-point loss last week, a very tough one, and they have a huge test in front of them welcoming in West Branch. They're trying to get a second win of the year for Howland, and this Tigers team was right there. They play a good style of football that's conducive to keeping yourself in ball games, right? So they're trying to just keep West Branch close. They probably watched a lot of film to see what Cheney did so well in the first half last week against West Branch. Remember, that was a scoreless game at halftime last week. So they're trying to watch that film. What did Cheney do so well to succeed in that instance? Trying to do the same thing. They're trying to keep this game close. Their style of football, if they keep it close, they'll always have a chance. They're not built for comeback, so they cannot let West Branch run away with this one if they want a chance to win it. Western Reserve goes on the road to Lowville. That could be a sneaky fun game. Western Reserve's run game looked electric last week against McDonald in that overtime victory by 1 point. That always gives you a little bit of boost going into the next week. And now on the road after being home in the first week of conference play. First conference road test for the Blue Devils. We're going to see how that goes. The Bombers have looked unstoppable so far this year. They travel on the road to Grand Valley. Can that onslaught and bombardment of the Bombers keep going against the Mustangs? Warren JFK, they're on the road against Marlington tonight. Beaver out of PA, they're going to Central Valley. You have Mohawk at home, and this is a game to watch only because Mohawk has consistently played in close games. So you just kind of understand, okay, it's Mohawk, it's going to be close, right? The odds are it's going to be a close game. They just always are playing in those tight nail biters. They've won 2, they've lost 2. So far, they're trying to make it 3-2. Mohawk hosting Beaver Falls tonight. Edison will be at home against Caldwell. Edison looked very good last week in their blowout victory. And then last but not least, we have East heading to Cleveland Shaw tonight for Week 5 football. Now that we've gone over all the games, let's get you the broadcast, who will be out there covering football, and where it will be. Let's go. Okay, here we go. I was on the wrong date for the spreadsheet, so bear with me here. We are on September 20th, right? All right. So here we go. Here are the football games that'll be on the network tonight for you. Chris Sigler and Matt Marr will both be together against at Springfield as Camel comes to town for that game. We'll have Anthony Malone working with Craig Walters for Canfield and Cheney. Conneaut and Harvey will be covered by WOW TV, so the Spartan crew has you covered for that one. Crestview at Southeast, that's Ty Bartell going to his backyard in Ravenna for that matchup there. East Palestine playing Valley Christian, that'll be covered by Tim Figley. West Geauga Edgewood, Larry Jennings making the trip with the Warriors there. Garrettsville Garfield and Geneva and Perry will be the next one covered. Perry's school going to take care of that. Chad Paul has you covered for Girard and Pymatuning Valley. Matt Romeo has you covered for Hubbard of Poland. Tim Corso on the call for Jackson Milton at McDonald. We have Noah Ricks going to Orange. He'll have you covered for Jefferson and Orange. That'll be a big one there. Sam Torres going to have you covered for Lakeside and Hawken. That'll be him and Scott Demos on the call there. Dakota Kotzel will be on the call for Lakeview and Niles. That one will be broadcasted. Liberty and Brookfield has you covered by Jordan Barber. He'll be on the call, a great broadcaster heading down to Brookfield. You guys are in for a treat if you're Brookfield Warrior fans. Joe Eusebio going to be lending his voice to the Clippers like he's done all season as they host Lisbon. Rob Johnson has you covered for Louisville and North Canton Hoover. That'll be a tape delay. We'll have that one on tape delay because of the Federal League and their stances and stuff. So that one will be on the network, but tape delayed for Louisville and North Canton Hoover. Donnie Riccatelli and Don Mashula have you covered for Riverside and Boardman. There's the Spartans trying to stay undefeated at home. Mike McKenzie will have you covered for Beaver Local and Salem. Remember, that's homecoming. So if you're looking to watch that game, it might start a little bit later than 7 with homecoming festivities. You never know. Sometimes those kickoffs go a little bit late when homecoming comes to town. Owen Klein will have you covered for East Liverpool hosting St. Clairsville. DJ Oakley and Sam Bellino will be at South Range for their matchup with Struthers. We have Larry Scragg and Dom Pearson having you covered for United and Southern Local. Gary Altizer has you covered for Wellsville traveling to Latonia. West Branch and Howland. That's going to be Britt Taylor on the call, the head coach of the Howland baseball team, getting his announcing hat on to call that West Branch and Howland game. Eric Hughes and Chris Colucci, they'll have you covered for Western Reserve and Lowville, and then Tyler Hartz will have you covered for Grand Valley and Wyndham. Richmond Heights and Ashtabula St. John has been canceled today, so there is no game there. And St. Ignatius and Hoban, that game is actually red, so I think that one has been canceled as well. Not happening. So that is your Friday slate. Let's really quickly preview Saturday as well, since we don't have a show tomorrow to preview tomorrow's action. We have, I think, every sport in action tomorrow in some capacity. As football has you started with Austintown Fitch having a Saturday game. They hit the road to Akron Buchtel. And then Cardinal Mooney will be at home against Mayfield. Fitch kicks off at 1, so does Mooney. Volleyball-wise, we have a tri-match with Wyndham, Niles, and Champion going on, as those three will play each other. Louisville hosting North Canton Hoover. Warren Harding going to Newton Falls. Lakeview going to Canfield. Salem going to United. Orange will be on the road against Maple Heights. That's a tournament. Conneaut will be at Berkshire, and so will Garfield. That'll be a try. So Garfield, Berkshire, and Conneaut all playing together at Berkshire for that matchup there. Broadcast to I gotta do soccer. Keep scrolling. Ant. All right, Howland will be at Orange for boys soccer tomorrow. Marlington goes to Ursuline. Canfield will be hosting Avonsworth out of PA, which is a team that we've been a little bit familiar with because they play Mohawk and Beaver quite a bit. Fitch will be traveling to Eastlake North tomorrow. The JFK will go to Warren Harding. Jefferson will travel to Brookfield. West Branch goes to Crestview tomorrow. Southeast will be on the road against Lake Center Christian. United will be on the road against Matthews. Edgewood goes to Independence. Beaver will be at home against Riverside. Girls soccer tomorrow, Ursuline and South Range playing each other at Ursuline. Niles will be at Salem tomorrow. Fitch hosts Glen Oak. Canfield, once like their boys, are hosting Avonsworth from PA. Columbiana going to be hosting Maplewood. Crestwood comes to Brookfield. Newton Falls traveling to Warren JFK. Grand Valley going to Conneaut. Hubbard will be going to Marlington. Louisville will be going to North Royalton. And then last but not least, Beaver has you at home against Riverside. Here are the games that will be broadcast tomorrow on the network. For volleyball, I will be in Canfield for their matchup with Lakeview. We'll also have the Westminster volleyball team. They have two matchups tomorrow, one at Fredonia State and then another one against St. Vincent, both in Westminster. By the way, we have Westminster volleyball on the network tonight as well, as they take on Teal at 4 and Worcester at 8 o'clock. That'll be simulcast through Westminster on YSN. So that'll be on the network as well. Cardinal Mooney and Mayfield will be covered by Sam Torres tomorrow on the football field, and we will have soccer from Westminster tomorrow, and Orange School Broadcast System will have you covered for their matchup on the boys' side against Howland. So those are your broadcasts going on tomorrow. Also want to remind everybody that you can tune into the Audible call tonight with Mike Hackelson and myself. We'll have you kind of a red zone style for high school football. We'll flip from game to game to game, keep you updated on what games are really good, what games are going down to the wire. That's actually a really fun show to watch, especially towards the end of the night when you can see all the good games going on at once and really keep a thumbprint on the close games of the area. So a lot of people ask after the night's over, hey, what were the good games tonight? Like what especially if they were at a blowout, right? So if you're watching a blowout and you're sitting in the stands and you're wondering, I wonder what games were close, the Audible call is a very, very easy way to get access to all the close games, because by that point in the second half, we're pretty much only keying on the close games of the night. You know, we go through every game the first half. Second half, we kind of have a tally of the games that are turning into blowouts. We try not to go back to them unless there's a huge play that we can't ignore. will be at the close games down the stretch. So down the stretch tonight, make sure to tune into the Audible Call. Mike Ackelson, myself, want to give a shout out to Eric Oates as well, who does the switching. Well, I should say sets up the switcher. So a great crew down there at the Audible Call. Make sure to tune into that. And then after all that, make sure to tune into the Joe Dickey Electric Scoreboard Show around 10 o'clock after all the action as me and Mike Ackelson and our announcers that call in go over all the action from tonight. Week 5 is upon us. We hope you enjoy it. We'll be back on Monday from 1 to 2 Running Point. Always brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. We'll see you next week, I should say. Monday, 1 to 2. Thank you so much.